Hello and welcome everyone. Today we will learn a new lesson from CBSE Class 10th English. The name of lesson is A Baker from Goa. The present lesson has been taken from 7th number unit and the name of unit is Glimpses of India. The first part, A Baker from Goa, has been written by the writer Lucio Rodriguez. Let's know something about the author. Lucio Rodriguez is an English Cockney essayist. He was born in 1916 and he died in 1973. He was a great Cockney essayist. He wrote several articles in English and Cockney to various periodicals and magazines. He served as the visiting professor of folklore at many universities and also as a professor of English in Mumbai and Goa. His famous books are Goa, Memories of My Homeland. Let's see some of the introductory part of the lesson A Baker from Goa. A Baker from Goa revolves around the relevance of a baker in Goan culture, which dates back to the time when the Portuguese ruled over the city of Goa. The Portuguese may have left, but the bread makers continue to have an inimitable structure. In this story, the author recalls his childhood days and their excitement on seeing the baker. They were enthusiastic to the point that they would run to him as soon as they woke up without even brushing their teeth. The theme of the lesson is to make familiar with the Goan culture or bakery business and its origin and product in India. Some new and typical words from the lesson: vanished, disappear suddenly and completely. Molders, a person who molds the dough into a shape. Furnace, an enclosed structure to heat at very high temperature. Extinguished, cause a fire to cease, stop, to burn. Heralding, announcing, stop, stick, rebuke, an expression of disapproval. Similarly, a scolding, fragrance, a pleasant sweet smell. Parapet, railing, a low protective wall. Now let's see the lesson in detail. The present lesson has been the setting from the Goa, and we will see the Goan culture and Goan essence in this lesson. The story gives us the reference of the past when the Portuguese ruled in Goa, especially in India. The old Portuguese days were immensely famous for the breads. The narrator often finds his elders thinking about those good old days and narrating the tales of the famous bread to the narrators and other children. The Portuguese were famous with their loaves of breads. Here you can see in the picture a bread is there with slices and the small parts of component whole one to be said as loaf. Plural form of loaf is loaves. Those eaters of the loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. The process of bakery business has been discussed in the beginning. Let's see with the help of the pictures. We still have amongst us the mixtures. Here, one of the process of the making bakery products, breads, baking business has been discussed here. First one, there is a mixing of the flour. The second stage is discussed in the lesson, in the beginning of the lesson, is molding of bread. Here you can see some of the workers working in a bakery where they are molding the breads in a various shapes, and thereafter they named with the eatables. Molders of the bread, and the further and final process is the baking, and those who bake the loaves, and this is very traditional place. On a high temperature they have to bake these bakery products. In those age, at that time, there were the old time tested furnaces still exist. The furnaces is an enclosed structure with a maximum heat or temperature for baking the bakery products, to be said as a furnace. The picture is clearing the word furnace. Bakers to sell their breads. Early in the morning, a baker with his typical type of clothing and holding a basket on the head, and in one hand a stick, bamboo stick, and at the top there is a small bells jingling and announcing and heralding his arrival. The third and jingle of the traditional bakers, the bamboo heralding, announcing his arrival in the morning time, can be still be heard in some places of Goa. The jingling third of his bamboo woke us from sleep, and we ran to meet him and greet him. The poet is remembering his childhood days where the arrival of the baker, which is quite pleasing and found for the poet. Here, the bamboo stick or the staff has been showed here, where the baker is using to instruct and inform the people in the area that he has arrived. One hand supported the basket on his head and other banged the bamboo on the ground. You can see the baker is holding a basket on the head with one hand, and another hand he is holding the bamboo sticks, which is he is hitting on the ground and creating the third sound. Maybe the father is not still alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. These bakers are even today known as padeiro in Goa. Padeiro is an Portuguese word for the baker. This is most important one. Here you can see the padeiro, the baker who is selling out their products in the society. Was it for the love of the loaf? A part of the composite bread, to be said as a loaf. Loaf is singular and loaves are plural of loaf. Not at all. The loaves were bought by some Pascain and Bastine, the maidservant of the house. The writers still remember the maidservant in the family. The Pascain and Bastine were to receive the breads from the bakers. Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all, but it was only the family members were also enjoying the bakery products. What was we longed for were those bread bangles which we chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. Here the writer is discussing about his favorite bakery product is bread bangles. This product is named because it is similar to the bangles. So bread bangles is quite favorite of the writer to eat, the writer and the baker. One hand supported to the basket on his head and other banged the bamboo on the ground, which was awaking the writer from the sleep. And he would greet the lady of the house, good morning, and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. When the writer woke up from sleep and he saw the baker is arrived in the house door and where the maid servants are receiving the breads, and the baker, how he is approaching there, he is putting the vertical bamboo on the top end. He is placing the basket, and after greeting the good morning, and then he is giving the breads or bread bangles for the others. But the children, being a writer over there, wanted to see the bakery products, but they were not allowed. When they were not allowed, then they would not give up easily, and then the writer along with other children would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket somehow. I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves, and even it is unforgettable for the writer to uh, forget the fragrance of the loaves what he enjoyed in his childhood days. Loaves for the elders and the bangles for the children. And what type of food being given by the baker in the family? The loaves for the elders and the bread bangles for the children. Then we didn't even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouth properly. And why we should? Who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf and the uh, for making our toothbrush and brushing our teeth? And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea would wash and clean up everything so nicely after all, the writer believed. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. Here, the role of bakery business in the village is most important, especially the marriage occasions. For the sake of marriage gifts, the bowls were given. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as bowl, just as the party or a feast loses its charm without bread. The lady of the house must prepare the sandwiches on the occasion of daughter's engagement. On daughter's engagement, there is sandwiches were prepared by the ladies. The sandwiches for the daughter's engagement, cakes and bolinhas are a must for the Christmas festival as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. The baker or the bread sellers of those days had peculiar days known as kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. In our childhood, we saw the bakers wearing shirts, trousers which were shorter than full length ones, longer than the half pants. Then, even today, anyone who wears a half pants which reaches just below the knees, invite the comments that he is dressed like a padeiro. Padeiro is a Portuguese word for the baker. The baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month, and monthly accounts used to be recorded on walls in pencil by the servants or the family members. Baking was indeed a profitable business in the old days for the Portuguese, this bakery people. The baker and his family never starved. He and his family and his servant always looked happy and prosperous because they had enough food to eat and they never saw the hunger. Their plump physique, their plump body and structure was an open testimony evidence to this, that even today any person with a jackfruit like a physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. So thereby we are happy to conclude the lesson is that today a baker and his business has taken an integral and inseparable part in our life. Its base origin is the Portuguese people and their rule and stay in Goa. So we have made the bakery products as one of the main food items in our daily food habits. So with this, I conclude. Thank you.